Hello, Collective. Welcome in. Welcome back to my channel. Hostess of the Gnosis. Pardon the fly. If you're new, please keep in mind that I do cuss. I do tend to ramble. It's a part of the way I channel. And a lot of what I say may sound like a bunch of nonsense at times, but it does come full circle, okay? If you're returning, thank you for your continued support. It really does mean everything. Alright. Without further ado, let's just get into it. Yeah, pardon the fly that keeps buzzing around. The little turd found its way into my room, and I cannot for the life of me get the little thing out, so it might be making an appearance here and there. Will you fuck off? Jeez. Anyway, I think it's going to drive my ADHD insane. Oh my god. Bear with me, guys. Oh yeah, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if what I have to say, what I have to offer resonates with you, okay? Helps me get the messages out to others who it might be pertinent for, and also helps me find my soul tribe, the people that I vibe with on my particular wavelength of weirdness, okay? Let's just dive right in. So what are some basic overtones for the energy today that you want the collective to know about? Okay, that was a clump of them, but we have the 8th house, the 9th house, and the wound is the teacher, okay? 8th house is death, rebirth, transformation, transcendence, okay? What limits you by others' perception, so on. 9th house is travel, what inspires you, your visions, alright, your moral and ethical foundations, and the wound is the teacher. There is a message sealed. It only reveals itself when you stop running and ask, what have you come to show me? Okay? So there might be something coming up, maybe about you transcending some sort of mindset, like, the way I like to call it is like transcending morality and exchanging it for integrity, okay? Because morals can be swayed, and morals can lead people to do things that, you know, are out of character for them, but integrity can't be swayed, alright? It's solid, it's absolute. Alright, being balanced, negotiating, restoring equilibrium, balance, alright? Understanding your limits, meditating, or maybe you are a Libra, or someone close to you is a Libra. You just might be operating in that energy right now. Get another one, please. And today's another good day energetically. I noticed a lot of the heavy that had been around is continuing to lift. Last night I was so giddy because it felt so good to finally be out of that really thick, kind of brain foggy, weird. Anyway, it's another. Hope you guys are feeling the good effects of the energy too. I know we all feel it at different times, and you know, some of us feel it in real time as the earth is shifting with it, and some, you know, it kind of moves like an earthquake. You have like a ripple effect. So if you're still in the thick of it, just hang in there. And the earth is detoxing, and you know, something like that takes time, okay? Let it move through you. Let it help detox your stuff. You be good. Alright. Scorpio. Either you are a Scorpio, someone close to you is a Scorpio, or you're just in this scorpionic energy. Keeping secrets, being focused, never surrendering, and intensity. Let me get one more, please. Is that one or that's a pile? Okay. Alright, so we have the first house, the ascendant, the conscious standpoint, the ego, or that aspect of self which is most readily at hand in any immediate situation. Hang on. almost got the little fucking bastard. Anyways. Alright. Wills, legacies, minor inheritances, talents, gifts, okay? Gemini being versatile, adapting, sharing experiences, welcoming challenges. Aries rushing forward, showing initiative, being bold and courageous. But that's too many, so we just gonna put them back after having mentioned them. This fly is so distracting, bro. Alright, 2 came out. Being told to keep them. So we will. Sovereign flame. You do not need permission to rise. You do not need to earn your freedom. You were born crowned. Now act like it's. I love that. And the shadow is sacred. What you resist becomes your reflection. What you embrace becomes your power. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your raw, unpolished brilliance. Truth wrapped in pain, waiting to be held in reverence. Witness, do not exile. Okay? So this could be just indicative of what you're choosing to embody at this time, you know, like with the detox energy of the earth. You know, you may have been going through the process of detoxing your soul, your spirit, your vessel, all at once to integrate yourself into a whole being, okay, an embodiment. And a couple readings ago, I just was talking about how it's shifting from becoming a mirror to others and becoming an embodiment of self, okay? What you reflect outward is your truth, okay? Transcending beyond the need for any external validation for who you are and why you are, what you are, etc., okay? You could be experiencing, you know, situations that are asking you to rise up, to exert your sovereignty, okay, and have to stand on that, you know, that whole thing of integrity, okay, and you might be noticing how your shadow helps you do that, okay. A lot of people see the shadow as something dark and wicked, something to be pushed away, or like the same way they view the ego as something that should be killed or anything, but you know, to each their own beliefs. But what I have found on my journey is that, you know, everything exists for a reason, everything has its place and balance for each of us, okay? So you're realizing that, you know, your shadow is there to help protect you. It's there to help you rise up when you get kind of stuck in your, yeah, anyway. Propagation of light. I'm working on the way I ramble, guys, because sometimes I can end up going on a little too long harping on something. I'm working on it. Alright. What do we got with propagation of light? That's interesting that it came out, you know, with shadow. These ones fell out. It's too many at once. Get a couple more, please. But yeah, so like it's saying, it's, with what you resist becomes your reflection, you know, embody who you are, accept who you are, what is integral to you, whether or not other people like it, whether or not they want to accept it, okay, you have a place in this world, and you're never going to find that place if you can't even accept yourself and create a space for yourself, okay? 2 came out, purification and loyalty, okay? I'm just going to take both of those. I'm being told to take both of those. That's what we're going to do. All right, propagation of light, purification. All right. So this is telling me that, as in propagation of light, okay, so how truth, how it is spread, how it is recognized amongst more than one, okay? What does it mean to be pure, okay, and loyal to how you put out your light, okay? Purification. Purification can come in many forms because it all depends on what it is you're trying to purify, okay? You have many forms of purity. For every something, there is a pure version of it, and there's also a defiled version of it, and there's also a balanced version of it. Okay? You can have pure innocence, you can have pure desire, you can have pure lust, pure hate, pure evil, pure, you know what I'm saying? So, it comes down to loyalty. Okay, where do your loyalties lie within yourself? And where do your loyalties lie outside of yourself? And how does that balance out with your internal being? Is it betrayal? Is it anything that's contradictory? Okay, and it's just about how your balance within yourself leaches into what you propagate outside of yourself, okay? What you put out, you know, reaches beyond you. That kind of thing. Okay, we have high honor and thoughts. We'll keep both. We have imprisonment. Don't do that. Do. Family room. I could have sworn I saw another one that was, or maybe I was just, alright, those two were flipped over. I think I saw another one. I could have sworn I saw another one. Maybe not. Whatever. Anyway. High honor thoughts, imprisonment, family room, okay. So it could be what you're helping weed out, what you're purifying within yourself is what you were raised to believe. Okay, because family room, like those closest to you, those you live with, alright, feeling imprisoned by what they say should be moral, what they say, it's always been this way, like, you know, traditions and how they're carried, and sometimes people carry them on without even bothering to consider where they came from, you know, where was the mindset at the time that was, you know, ingrained into the into the gene pool, so to speak. And yes, like certain traditions and such exist for a reason, but when it comes to a point where it's combating your own integrity, like, it's okay to think for yourself. It's okay to be that black sheep, and you're like, you know, if that works for you guys, fine, but it doesn't work for me, and stand on that shit. And they may not like it, but you know, I knew I saw privilege popping out. Anyway. You know, sometimes part of that detox is going to involve having to not push away, but just, you know, put at a distance people that, you know, you were once really close to. People that you love dearly. Doesn't mean you have to be rude to them. It doesn't mean, you know, you have to cut them off completely. But, you know, you do have to keep your balances in check. And if you're declaring that you're sovereign, then you have a loyalty and a duty unto yourself. Okay? And if they can't respect that, well, you know, that's okay. But they can not respect it away from you, is the thing. Alright? We have mature man and message of concern. What do we have message of concern, please? What is message of concern about here? I'm about to burp. Used to that. I had to burp. Anyway. Message of concern as it pertains to family room, imprisonment, high honor, and God. Okay. Maybe someone in your family is right on the bottom we got poverty. Ooh. So this could be something connected to like a poverty mindset. Maybe your family grew up poor. Maybe they grew up struggling. Okay, you had to grow up in a state of survival mentality. All right, and in that, it may have involved like certain beliefs that your family said, well, we do this because we have to survive. We do this because whatever. All right, and there could be this mature man energy that maybe behaved in a similar way and kept something from you. Or maybe he's finding out that he's sick or something, a message of concern, okay, about himself, about his health, about you even, okay. Maybe they're concerned about your mindset, okay. maybe some of you, like, you don't talk to your family about what you believe in, things like that, because they won't understand, or they, like a lot of people, their families are like really heavily religious, and they see a lot of the spiritual stuff as evil or wicked, you know what I mean? Or maybe you're finally telling them, like, look, these thoughts, the way that I was raised, that it limited me. It had me imprisoned in so many ways. Like, maybe you're a woman or something, and the way that you were raised to, or the example set for you on how to raise a family, and you thought that was what you wanted to, and you get into it and you feel stuck and imprisoned in something that isn't in alignment with you and who you truly are, okay? We have King, Driver. What else? Yeah. All right. Homeless. Get 2 more, please. Traveler. Friend. Okay. Thank you. And on the bottom, we have Butcher. Ooh, ruthless, cruelty, slaughter. Ooh, heavy. Alright. King, Driver, Homeless, Traveler, Friend. Alright. So the King is sovereign of realms, monarch, authority, rule, inheritance. Okay? Driver, navigator of journeys, steering, safe passage, welcome. Homeless, unemployment, solitude, hunger, bankruptcy, wandering. Traveler, seeker of horizons, adventure, experience, long journey, and then friend, keeper of trust, companion, support, or sharing joy. Alright? With these other cards out here, okay, it looks to me that this is a reflection of this, but on a deeper internal level, okay? Think energetically, think with aspects within self, okay? Driver being that which steers your body, okay? Your body being the vehicle, all right? We had that sovereign card come out, so King, like sovereign of realms, like you stepping into this sovereign mindset, right? This homeless, all right, so when you step into that sovereign state of being, you haven't alienated aspects of yourself, and integration starts to happen, and you become your own home. No matter where you go, you have a home within yourself, okay? You're not looking for anywhere to belong. You know your place within yourself, and you have a confidence that wherever you are in this world at any given point in time, that you're going to be all right, that you know how to bring what you need to you. You've learned how to alchemize energies and magnetize yourself to be able to draw in, things you need, what have you. And friend, keeper of trust, companionship, support, sharing joy. That goes in with that aspect of you that you're unifying with, okay? That will be, for some of you, it will reflect outside of yourself. For some of you, it will remain internal. It's all dependent upon what you specifically need. It's going to be different for everyone. It's supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to look like a one-size-fits-all approach, okay? But you know for yourself what you need, okay? You know for yourself what that presence is, what it looks like, what it feels like, and how you want to engage with it in your experience, all right? Some prefer that presence to remain internal, okay? Some want it manifested outside of themselves, like a reflection of a counterpart, okay? Ooh, got a knock confirmation. We hear you, thank you. Alright, so that's definitely something for somebody about the external component here, okay? Maybe you've been asking, for a true friend, a true, someone, okay, again, like Black Sheep. I was talking about the whole thing with the family. Rebelling, going against expectations, defying norms. We have roller coaster, full of highs and lows, off and on again, hot and cold. She might be stepping out of that because it is, while going through the alchemical stages, okay, it does get like that. But the process of which it happens, the cycles, they start to spin faster and faster and faster and faster and happen until, boom, like, until these two forces come together and suddenly collide and become one, okay? So, like, you have these interactions with your family, right? And this keeps repeating. But then you have this over here when you're away from this, from the family and the work you do on yourself, okay? And so you go through these different cycles, right? And so you have these aspects of yourself spinning in disparate places, okay? But as you continue to navigate the variables and you start to stay true to yourself, these two things move closer and closer and closer and closer. And each time these energies cross paths, okay? And every time there's a collision, something balances out, okay? Until finally, boom. So if you are experiencing highs and lows, ons and offs, hot and cold experiences, then, and it's like happening faster and faster and faster, you notice that cycle keeps creeping up more and more, faster and faster, all right? You're nearing that arc point, okay? And that's a good thing. It's a part of it. Yet anyone tells you that they went through the whole alchemical process without having to be fucking melted down into mush, okay, energetically speaking, then they're selling you a pipe dream, okay? Alright, supersize me, doing too much, excessive overindulgence, okay? Don't be surprised if people are going to end up telling you that. I don't know how many times I was told that I was secluding myself too much, that I was, taking too much time to reflect on things. It's like, okay, well, it says the ones that are benefiting from me being overwhelmed all the time, of course. You know what I'm saying? Obsession, physical attraction, sex appeal, okay? This to me with this, like, doing too much and all that is, like, just make sure that when you're going through these things that you're paying attention to what's actually working for you and not subconsciously fooling yourself into thinking that just because something's providing a temporary comfort, you can acknowledge that, a form of escape or something that's, a little easier to handle is a bit of a crutch, because sometimes that's needed and that's okay. Alright, but just don't let yourself get too carried away or try to convince yourself that, those little things that help along the way are the solution. Okay, that's how people fall into harmful delusions, okay? Because not all delusion is negative. Not all, delusion is also an aspect of manifestation too. It could also be that you, that the whole reason you're going through this is because, like, the people closest to you, the people that you love, what have you, be it family, be it a significant other, friends, what they're doing is too much to you. Okay, they're taking too much off of you. They're using you as an energetic snack, okay? And this is especially common in relationships where one is parasiting off the other without giving in return, okay? So, like, as a female, I can speak from my perspective. I've been in relationships where, my significant other is not helping out with anything. They're not pulling their part, okay? And I'm sitting there trying to be considerate of that and, doing for them what I would want done for me during a hard time, whoa, that was a big bang outside. Anyway. If I were to be navigating something heavy, having them step in and, carry a bit of the load for me, because I would and I have done that for them in return. Yet, I find that, they don't give me attention, something, but then whenever it's bedtime and it comes time, for sex or something, then all of a sudden they want to be that person, okay? This could also have to do with that. You could be noticing how these behaviors are leeching off of you and, kind of alienating you from yourself, and you're, like, trying to figure out how to be loyal to yourself, how to purify your experience from this, because it is hard, especially if you've built a life with someone, okay? Or like you have family that you stay with, that you live with, and you know there's not really any other option for you. Okay? Then we have the cleanse, of course, detox, ridding negativity, purification. Don't forget that during these processes, you know, try to branch out. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. Try to branch out. Ask for help in unexpected ways, okay? Like, you don't have to be begging. You don't have to, nothing like that. But if someone offers you help and it feels like you feel that secondary nudge, it's like, look, maybe, okay, maybe try it out. Give it a shot. It might be, the divine might be providing an avenue for you to be able to get out of the situation that you're stuck in. Because even if it's a situation of your own creation, because you wanted to stick around thinking that, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, even if it's hard, that's what love is, it's sacrificial, blah, 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 blah. It's okay to have not known, all right? It's what you do once you know better, okay, that starts to get into real sticky territory. Rehab today, good vibes, present, in the moment, exactly. Try to stay in the moment, keeping in mind that, you know, there's detoxing, or you have detox energies, and that, you know, you need to open up. My boo, official status, exclusive relationship, seeing each other openly. So it could be, this could be internal with an aspect of self. This could be external and meeting someone new, okay? You might be going into that phase where you're going to be revealing to your family who you're with. It could be a whole thing of like, you know, I'm in this moment with myself and I'm okay with that. I'm enough. That's enough for me at this time. Okay, I don't need anyone outside of myself. That, because you don't want to fall into a dependent cycle again. You know what I'm saying? Like, building that foundation with yourself first, okay? On the bottom of the deck, we have heart-to-heart, deep conversations, intimate discussions, blunt and honest. Now, this, I take this as not only with yourself, because it does matter. You need to be very blunt, very honest with yourself. Of course, you don't have to be cruel about it. All right, be gentle with you while you're learning. But also those around you. Like, it is hard sometimes to begin implementing boundaries and stuff, especially when you're not used to it. And especially when you're around reactive people who, anytime you go to exert a boundary, they want to take it personally. Okay, and it's like learning to play a game of chess. Because I know this very well, because I grew up around a lot of manipulative people, and I entangled with mostly manipulative people, and it did a number on me. But through that, I learned how to play that mental chess game and that emotional chess game, and now it's like, I wish a motherfucker would try it today. You know? Being able to keep on topic whenever they pull their manipulative shit in a conversation, being able to remain calm and untriggered by their many projections and the lows that they'll go to try to get you to be just as reactive and forget your point and behave in a way that keeps them saying, well, see, it's that right there. Okay? Anyway, that was for somebody. That tangent was for somebody out there. But, you know, it does take time to heal from things like that. And maybe you have healed from that. Maybe you're starting to heal from that. Or maybe you're just heading out on that journey to heal. Okay? The main aspect here, let it shine. Alright, be who you are. And don't dim yourself for nobody. And stand on that. Okay? Stand the fuck on it. Let it make them uncomfortable. Let it shake them. Let it continue to reveal who they are. Because it's not going to shake who you are anymore. You're aware of who you are and why you are. Okay? You don't need anyone else to validate you. Okay? You can embody your own truth, and that's that. You don't have to care what anybody else says. Alright? And if they try to continue to harp at you and try to ram it down your throat, you need to really start asking yourself, well, why the fuck are they so hard up? You know, that's kind of suspicious, ain't it? And of course, common sense applies. As long as you're not hurting yourself or others. Like, keep it in check. Balance. Keep it balanced, okay? Keep consideration for yourself and in consideration for the right of others to tailor their experience as well and to have their own version of their truth and respecting it while having it understood that your truth is to be respected also. Okay? Be peace, exactly. Whatever others do, fine. Let them do what they do. That's them. You are responsible for you. Okay? And the energy you put out. Just because they say something doesn't mean that you have to attach to it. It doesn't mean that what they say about you is true. That just means that they said something. And people have 1,000,001 fucking opinions. Okay? And they're all gonna be... What the fuck ever. Anyway. Let them be them. You be you, be peaceful about it, and just let your fucking self shine. Let your truth shine. Your truth can shine even in silence, even when you don't speak a fucking word, because it is. And it will be regardless of what they choose to say. We have the Eagle Spirit. There's a lot of birds here. I'm liking that. Spirit has your back. Exactly. On the bottom of the deck, Owl Spirit, you see clearly now. So this is a lot of birds, alright? And birds are associated with, like, heavenly beings because they navigate the skies. And they watch what's going on below. So it could also be, you know, you might have someone on the energetic plane, okay? And for those of you who, I was talking about the manifestation of a counterpart outside of y'all, so this could be them, letting you know that they're watching you, they see you, alright? And they got your back. They're overseeing. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Anyway. Gonna get a few of these and then I'm probably gonna call it. Where are we at? 32 minutes? Sorry, I don't want to push it too long. So what do you want to tell us with all of this considered? FBI, CIA, Secret Service involvement, deep government type shit. Okay, this also goes into whether or not they are directly involved with you. It could also be the influence your family was under at the time you were raised and how, in the way that they thought you should be raised up. Okay, this was really big in the generation, like my generation when we were growing up. Our parents had this really strong sort of trust on government, and anyways, so it doesn't always have to be that the ABC organizations are being directly involved in your life. It could just be like, be mindful of the influence that they have on your entertainment, on news, and the main narrative that goes around, okay? And then we have Draconian Dragon, alright, that might be relevant for some of you. Love my dragon fam, just saying. Alright, then we got explore ways to get your own confirmations and stop relying so much on other readers, etc. You hold the same power. They should only ever be either confirming what you already know or helping you broaden your perspective. Don't let anyone plant doubt or fear in your mind. It is a subtle way some readers and others leech off of the collective. Numerology, gematria, automatic writing, scrying, etc. are some great places to begin tapping into your own story, alright? Because influence is a powerful thing, and the more that one can have the energetic presence within themselves, influence the collective mind, that means more territory for that energy, okay? And so, of course, they're going to want to keep their influence running, because that means more bodies for them, more hands to build what they want to create, all right? And that's why, you know, stepping into a sovereign seat is a very powerful thing, because you don't rely on the beehive, okay? Like, I always have this paradigm thing with, like, beehive and behave. When you behave, what does that mean? That means that you are choosing to adhere to the societal norms and expectations of a hive mentality, okay? You don't need a collective to build your dreams, okay, to manifest your desires. You have that inherent right and authority within yourself, okay? You don't have to play energetic chess and waste your fucking time trying to convince everybody else of something to get them to build it for you. You can build it yourself, okay? That's what that's talking about. That's 3 at once. Okay, let's see what they say though. Remember during the times when you're feeling punished or disconnected that I'm on the other side, working on ways to bring us together. I need you to trust me more. Trust that during those times, I need you to just hold the fort while I'm getting my hands dirty for us. Your trust in this connection is the most powerful force. I know it's hard for me too. But seeing you again and being with you again is worth the struggle. Please, please, trust me even when it's hard. Okay? At home. Okay, within yourself. Let's try to keep it focused internally before we push any of this stuff outwardly. You know what I mean? Alright, intentionally planting seeds of doubt. Try to let shit roll off your back. Okay, exactly. So, yeah, internally. Alright, internal alchemy and internal union. Alright, what you know of yourself, your deepest truth. You're not going to find ways to be, to hold that integrity and stay loyal to yourself if you keep taking everything outside of yourself and trying to force it to what's already in you and just what's in you waiting to be seen, revealed. You know what I'm saying? Like, mythological. Get a couple more. Forgery, false documents, Delulu, rebirth, transformation, same sex. You help protect and guide sacred bloodlines. Alright? And all that means with like sacred bloodlines, it doesn't mean that, oh, because so-and-so has this certain type of bloodline, or they're a part of this ethnicity, or they are a part of this religious group, or what have you, that they are inherently more royal than anyone else. What that basically means is, like, it goes through with, bloodlines and how through generations, those in that bloodline chose to work on themselves, how they chose to raise their children, what influence, okay? And so, like, a sacred bloodline is one that has, held throughout generations a blueprint, and they've stayed loyal to it, and it's an inherent thing, okay? It's not because someone told them to, it's not because a book somewhere written ages ago, or because some hieroglyphic somewhere said to do this, that this is the right thing to do. It's because it's an inherent knowing, okay? The divine isn't outside on a fucking inscribed on marble somewhere or on some ancient ruin, okay? It is within every single one of us. It's just how many layers has it been hidden under, and how deep are you willing to go to find it, you know? Wet work, hitman. Let me get one more, because that does play into the mythological thing here. And it does play into this intentionally planting seeds of doubt, because that whole mythological thing. Oh, there we go. That's what I thought. Beehive. Hive mentality. Okay. Everybody moves to fucking serve the queen, and everybody else either dies or just wastes away being a worker bee, and the queen just gets to keep going. Alright, they're scared as fuck. Alright, and that whole thing of, like, protecting sacred bloodlines, this could also be an inversion of that. Which, the beehive, of course, they're gonna think their queen's bloodline is top tier, right? And they will do anything to protect it, and they might be thinking that their sole existence is to serve that bloodline, okay? Now, internally speaking, alright, at home, you, the being inside of you, within your body, your home, your vessel, okay? You have to understand how certain things mythologically are set in into a narrative to intentionally plant seeds of doubt, okay? It's like energetic wet work. An energetic hitman. Okay, so have you ever had, like, say you were a kid and you believed in this one thing and you just always have because it came natural to you or something, and then you go to hear a story or something and it shatters something deep inside of you because it shatters something that had been inherently significant to you, right? It helped shape a part of who you were, okay? And it just because it was, all right? And you're like, and then you're told that that doesn't exist, that's what have you. You know, that's the real cruel nature of this with that, at the bottom of that other deck, that ruthless cruelty and slaughter with the butcher, is that so many of these systems go after people when they're so young and they don't know any different than to question or to guard themselves against the influences of the ones they trust, because even the ones that they trust, even in trying to do the very best thing they can for the ones that they love, they might still be falling victim to someone else's narrative, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. Okay? That's not to say that, you know, all mythological accounts of anything are false, because mythology doesn't mean that something isn't real. It just means that it's an oral retelling of something that had happened in history, okay? And we know through what we've witnessed ourselves, and even a lot of what our parents witnessed with book burnings, and how the powers that be, the human powers that be, will go and do anything and everything they can to destroy the evidence or anything that showed that something else was there before them, okay? If you can wipe out the memory of something, you can erase its existence, so to speak. All right, that's the way they see it, because they don't think more broadly, okay? But it's the whole thing. Anyway, departing words. Anything you want us to know before I wrap this up? Why is my hair sticking over here thing lately? Ugh. Okay, so we have close with the shadow side, seen as an equal by what others find to be scary, monstrous, predatory, etc. Loving that which is typically feared. Shadow guide, healing shadow. Okay, and we also have, it's a reference to Persephone and eating seeds of the underworld. What are your thoughts made of? The whole mind, conscious, subconscious, and imagination. Okay, so this is like indicative of like getting to know your shadow. Okay, getting comfortable with it. And you can do that by just asking yourself, in the aspects of yourself when you meditate or whatever, why do I think this? Is that truly what I believe, or is it because someone close to me, someone that I wanted to think highly of me, or a group of people to think highly of me or to accept me? Am I spewing this rhetoric because that's what they approve of? Or is it an integral piece of me? Okay, and just like in mythology, like the whole thing with Persephone and Hades, you know, a big part of that wasn't mentioned was the parts of Persephone that she ate in the underworld, the seeds that she ate in the underworld, were integral parts of herself for her to keep when she would be coming out for the 6 months away from the underworld. Okay, it's kind of like a sweet little forget-me-not. Okay, because she truly did have love for Hades. All right, people didn't want to believe her truth. They wanted to project onto her and project onto Hades what they thought their relationship looked like, okay? Oh, it couldn't be. No, she's got Stockholm, it's this and that. She's like literally saying like, no, I want to make my own choice. And, you know, anyway, moving on. Let me get 2 more and we're going to close it out. Alright. Sense of superiority, bossy, unsolicited advice or criticism, know-it-all, trying to impose opinion or perspective. Thank you for the confirmation. Lets me know that I'm not like diverting too far from what they were wanting me to tell you. Ooh wee. That's a lot. This one came out on top of mythological, so we're just going to... Yeah, because mythological myths are oral retellings, right? And it says pertaining to the mouth, speaking verbal secrets, taste, lips. Okay, so, you know, do you remember your own mythos? If you don't, start to write one for yourself. Internal. Build your internal world, okay? So it can reflect outside of yourself. If you haven't been building an internal fucking world, what the hell are you going to manifest outside of yourself? Because you don't have anything to... Anyway, I hope that makes sense. That makes sense to somebody out there. Alright. Deepest desires, subconscious, and imagination coming forward and rising. Exactly. Okay. And then meeting to discuss a situation or person, spreading gossip, sensitive information being made public, gathering to gossip or talk about someone, or secrets are coming out. Okay, so this is just being mindful that these people who like to be bossy, they might start to criticize as you let your truest self come through and have a place to exist outside of yourself. There is bound to be criticism. You're not going to avoid it. Okay, so does it really matter though? All right, if they're spreading rumors and stuff about you, if those things don't apply to you, then why does it matter? Okay, secrets coming out. Okay, it's energetic law. Okay, if you have integrity in what people are saying about you, and you're staying silent, like you're letting your truth speak for you, okay? And they continuously go to try to speak ill against you or impose a narrative upon you that it doesn't fit or it's applicable. That energy has to be balanced out. And so what it's going to do is it's going to run through you, and because it has nowhere to get hung up on you, because you're not betraying yourself, you're not trying to present yourself as anything other than exactly what you are, it's going to go right back to them. And when it does, it's going to expose parts of them, because that's what 99.99999% of all criticism and all that shit is projection, okay? Because they cannot face themselves. So they think that they can take those parts of themselves and just shove it onto everybody else. Oh no, honey. Oh no. I know who the fuck I am, and you can't tell me who the fuck I am. Okay? You need to go figure out who you are, and figure out why the hell you keep doing defunct shit that's alienating you from yourself and making you a pain in my ass, and I don't know how many other asses out there. Okay? But anyway, that's what I have for you today. I hope it helps, and I'll see you later. Bye.